Hello, everyone. This is Audrey Washington, your money and credit coach, coming to you live today for this week's Money Talk. And I hope you are doing fabulous today. I'm actually coming off a great weekend. My grandmother turned 98 on Saturday, and so we did a Zoom like birthday celebration for her, and it was actually really nice. We have, as a family, been doing like family game nights every other Friday since the COVID started. And we've kind of fallen off because some, family members in other states, their states are open up, and so we're not getting, haven't really been doing it last. Month or so. But at any rate, been trying to get grandma on Zoom, and she has been very resistant to the technology, trying to do it on her own. And it's really odd because my grandmother actually is pretty savvy about a lot of things, but this technology piece, that and learning how to drive, she just seems to not, obviously now she's not trying to drive, but in years past, um, that was something. But anyway, it was fun. It was great. It was a great celebration. She really enjoyed seeing everybody's faces on the video. So I was like, "See, Grandma, this is why we wanted you to get on Zoom." And I think she kind of understood it from how people came on, and she got to see many people. Even obviously in her town that she hadn't seen in a while because because of the COVID. But at any rate, it was wonderful. So that was a great weekend, and just a lot of laughs and as well. But anyway, I want to get right into the money. Well, not yet, not the money talk yet, but just want to remind you again. People, I know three people, actually four people, who are going around following up with people about the census. Please talk to the people, at least say to them, yes, I filled out my census. If you haven't, take the 5 minutes that it will take, 10 minutes it will take to fill it out with them. So please make sure you do that. You will really benefit yourself, your neighborhood, your community by completing the census. So also be nice to the census. Be nice to the census workers. All right, election primary. Want to also please vote in your primary election today. Oklahoma, I think that's right. And next Tuesday, September 1st, which I can't believe, next Tuesday, September 1st, is Massachusetts. So if you are in either one of those states, um, Oklahoma, I think you probably still have time. I'm not sure when the polls close. So if you still have time and haven't, go ahead and vote. And if you are in Massachusetts, you know that you are voting next week, September 1st. So if you're doing that by mail, or if you're going to drop off, or you're going to go into your polling place, please make sure you get your vote in September 1st. As well, if you're not registered, if you need to verify, maybe you didn't register yet, but you want to do register for the November election. I am actually not sure of that. Um, Let me see if I can maybe find that real quick. Yes, for November. Let's see what's the cutoff date. I don't know. I think it's a state by state guide. Um, Not sure. Okay. So, yeah, not sure. I think it's, oh, wow. Looks like it's state by state. But anyway, check your state for the cutoff to register for the November 3rd primary. Okay, so please vote. So important. All right, so let's get into our money talk for today. And I am talking, all my posts this week are about um, money, teaching kids about money or I also like to say money moves for kids. Okay, so money moves for kids. All right, so our first money move is play Monopoly. Many of us grew up playing Monopoly. Um, and I know for sure when I played it, I didn't connect that to, how educational it was about, keeping a bank. Do I have enough money to buy this property? What happens when I have to make decisions? I know I definitely, as a child, did not make that connection. But obviously, as I think back on that game, it had a lot of good teaching around money and finance. And I really wish that, in school and maybe at home, there was more conversation about how that game really could prepare you to deal with money in real life. And so I really wish, and so obviously a lot of it was around buying property, and I definitely wish I would have got that earlier. But yeah, but you can play Monopoly, right? And they even have for the younger ones, I think from age like 5 to 8, they have a junior Monopoly, so you could even start them even that much younger playing Monopoly. So that's going to be the first tip. Play that game and really teach with it, right? So have some conversation. You still want to balance, you want to keep it fun, but you also want to try to insert in there, some little nuggets with your kids as you are playing the game. So that's the first tip, right? And obviously, too, Monopoly is a great way. I said this last week to start the conversation with even socially with family and friends as adults, but this week I'm talking about the kids. All right, the second tip is so I'm a real big advocate of piggy banks. I don't have my little bank with me. I should have ran and got it, but I can't do all of that today. But I'm a real advocate of piggy banks. That was really our first introduction for most of us to saving, that you had some kind of bank, right? One of the things, however, with a piggy bank, because the piggy bank is, you can't see through it, there are some clear ones. Sometimes I've seen some clear ones. So if you can find a clear piggy bank, that would be great. I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna be on a hunt for a clear piggy bank. But get a clear plastic jar, and I say plastic versus glass uh, because that's better for the kids to handle, safer. So get a clear plastic jar. Have kids decorate one side and use it to save. So the post I made today, because sometimes them being able to see the money, right? So see the money kind of helps to connect them to, hey, my money is growing. Oh, I see. Now first, and it's getting more. It's getting more. So that's why I'm saying for savings, get a clear plastic jar and just make it fun. They can decorate it how they want to on one side, but then they can see, wow, my money is growing. The next one is so I see one person watching. Check in with me and let and say hey, so I know who you are. The next tip is talk to them about needs and wants. Okay, so what you can do is you could simply in the house ask your children to pick three things. You can kind of explain to them at first what's a need, what's a want. And then you tell them to, you can make it fun like a little game. Make little stickies and say, pick three, put the sticky on three things around the house that are needs and three things around the house that are wants. And then start to help them understand how needs have to be, paid for first and wants come after, right? And it's nothing wrong with wanting something, but you are not always going to be able to get everything that you want, even as an adult. I remember I was having this conversation with a friend's daughter about, she was getting, I think, a little grumpy because her mom wasn't letting her do something, right? And I said, I'm an adult, very grown, and I'm not able to do everything I want to do. So, that's life, right? So we can't always buy everything that we want to buy. But we can buy some things, but we do have to prioritize the needs. So have a discussion about that so that they understand it. And like I said, make a little game. You can, just write it on, a little sticky note like that and put needs, give them three stickies that say needs and three that say wants, and have them just go around the house and stick them on what they think is what, and, see if it's right. And that could be, maybe all total 10 or 15 minutes. Again, because with kids, you don't want to make it long. Even older kids, like teenagers, don't want to have a lengthy conversation. So make it short, but make it impactful. Okay? All right. The next thing is tip number 4 is when they ask for things. So when your child asks you to buy something, like a toy or a game, um, have start to discuss, um, have a discussion about those purchases, right? So they can start thinking through, right? So it doesn't have to be a clear, it doesn't have to be an immediate yes. It doesn't have to be an immediate no, but there should be some discussion around that, right? Because this is how you're going to prepare them to be an adult. If, as an adult, I decide that I want to make a purchase that is a want, I need to have some kind of discussion about it. Now, of course, if it's something small, not necessarily a big deal. I want to buy, something maybe under 10 or $20. But if it's, maybe a little bit more, then I really do need to, kind of have a process for myself to kind of work through if I'm going to buy that thing or not, how I'm going to buy it, if I'm going to buy it outright, if I'm going to save for it. So those are the kind of things you want to start to do with your children. Again, don't make it long, don't make it where it's like a lecture, but make it where they start to think. And then you also can do something where, um, let's say the item costs $20 and you say to them, well, I'll give you 10, and then you have to come up with the other $10 and let them figure that out. Part of that could be saving, right? So going back to tip number 2, they might get their saving jar and start saving their $10 that way to make up the difference. But don't just immediately buy it and say yes. And even if it's a no, have a discussion as to why it's a no, right? So it could be just simply, it's I'm not going to buy it for you, but if you save your own money, you can buy it. Or, it's not something that I can buy today, but it's something that, I'll, make a plan for. We can make a plan together. So just you want to have more conversations, okay? And I also, before I get to tip number 5, I don't want anyone to think that you have to have conversations with your children about, all of the details around the household finances, right? So you don't have to say, I bring in this much and our expenses are this much. You don't have to say all that. It can be broader, right? These are the things that, we have to pay every month. We got to pay rent or mortgage. We have to pay for the lights. We pay for cable. We pay car payments. We pay car insurance. If you might have any student loans, we have that. So you're just kind of giving them in general some idea of what kind of things it takes to run a household, okay? And then if there's any expenses that are specific for them. Now, obviously, before COVID, there might have been more expenses for kids, but that you don't have now, like, the different activities, but you can even bring those up. Before you had, swimming lessons, you had, baseball, you won the baseball league, there was a cost there. You did after school activities, there was a cost there, and so again, you don't have to be down and telling them, and that costs, 19.99, and that costs $40 a month. You don't have to get that deep, but just kind of explain to them all of these things have a cost. Okay? So the next thing is um, the final thing, tip number 5, is each week um, you can select together a money video. It should be age appropriate for your child. Um, Short, okay? Because again, you don't want it to feel like a chore. Because if it starts to feel like um like how it was when I was growing up with my mom, which I wish I would have stuck with, but didn't. When my mom was making us take piano lessons, it's not going to feel fun, okay? So you want it to be, and they're going to focus more on, kind of, this is so boring kind of thing, and not really get the lesson. And it's really important that you want them to get the lessons around money early, okay? So each week, select together a short money video, and after, ask them to share two things they thought were important, okay, and why. All right. So again, it's going to be age appropriate. So they should be able to remember two things and tell you why they thought. So they can't just say, well, what are the two things I remember? Well, I remember about saving and I remember about credit. Okay, so that's good, right? That's a starting point. And then if they are not sure why they thought those things were important, right? The fact that they remembered those two things, something about whatever was in that video did resonate for them. So that's a good starting point. So obviously you've watched it together, so you try to just help them and coach them to get an answer of why they thought the two things were important. Okay, so those are the 5 things. We are helping kids make money moves this week. We're teaching kids about money, and it is so important to do that early. Again, you don't have to give them the details about your own household finances, but by doing some of these things, and you don't have to do all of them, right? You could pick one of them. Maybe you start with Monopoly and you do that because it's a game and you know that you can help them learn through that. You don't have to do all 5, but I'm just giving you 5 different ways that you can do some things to help your kids. Because as I look, there's kids, and some of the videos you can find can be of kids who are talking about money. There are a lot of actually younger kids who are really have a lot of knowledge about money and finance and investing. And I didn't talk about investing, but I did talk about that last week when I talked about leaving a financial legacy. But investing is something that you definitely can start to think about, particularly as kids, like a certain sneaker, they like a certain, line of clothing, they like a certain toy, they like a certain game, they might even like certain cars already. That's when you start talking to them about investing, and maybe doing a little exercise with looking up the stock, and maybe that will also interest them to do that. Okay, so this is Audrey Washington. I am your money and credit coach, coming to you live tonight for Money Talk. And I hope that you will like, share this video, and also remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And hopefully I can remember um, to my YouTube channel. I haven't said this in a few weeks, and it's bit.ly/fiercely YouTube. Okay, so if you can do that for me, I would love it. I think that's right. Okay, so it's bit.ly/fiercely YouTube. Okay, yes, it's there. It didn't come up with the little preview, so I wasn't sure if I'd gotten it right. So yes, if you can like, share, and comment to my Money Talk videos. I'm going to be doing the Money Talks. I think I need to switch from during the day, so I'm going to be doing them at night. But you can always check my Facebook page to see what time I'm going to do it. I'm really going to stick to Tuesdays, and I'm going to try to continue to do them at 7. So thank you so much for joining. Complete your census. Be nice to your census workers. Let's help our kids to make money moves. And again, these don't have to be your birth children. They can be nieces, nephews, little cousins, little sisters and brothers. They could be kids in your neighborhood, kids in your community. Let's help our kids make money moves. Okay? Um, please do that. So let's help our kids make money moves. All right, so that's my theme for the year. Even though the COVID hit and some people might be thrown off a little bit financially, remember we can still make money moves. This is the time we have more time where we can talk to our kids about money. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. Bye bye.